So just don't show the work that is not fully done, working, or usable. Hi, it's Daria here. Welcome to ScrumMastered video series where I give you practical tips on how to build awesome teams. In today's video, I would like to talk about a topic that a lot of teams are concerned about. What do you do if you aren't done, if you don't have a done increment by the end of the sprint? How do you manage that situation? And how do you actually create a conversation between your team and the stakeholders? So let's look at the usual questions that people ask when they find themselves in this situation. Number one, velocity concerns. Do we split this product backlog item and leave the things that we have finished within this sprint and count those story points in our velocity and then put the rest into the next sprint? Or do we just carry over everything? Well, it actually depends. Now, just to be sure that we are on the same page around velocity, I have a video that is called Velocity is a Made-Up Number that I'm going to link in the description that talks a bit more about how to use velocity, how not to use velocity, how to keep it helpful. So I encourage you to look into that video to help you understand why velocity is not really a big concern when you haven't gotten to done. Now, if your item that you have worked on, you're in the middle, it's not fully done, but there are certain parts of the product backlog item that are fully completed. So some of the acceptance criteria, for example, are fully completed. They went through all of the steps to get to done. They are tested, documented, integrated into your product. Well, they are actually done. So technically you can just cut them out and calculate those velocity points for your sprint. However, if you are actually just in the middle of the work for this product backlog item and none of the parts, none of the acceptance criteria there are actually fully done and integrated, usable, working in your product, then it is not done. And you cannot really count this product backlog item towards your estimations or towards your velocity, just for the reason that we should only consider done work, working software, working product, as a measure of success or as a measure of progress. That is the only way. If you're splitting your product backlog item into two parts because you have one part of it completely done, then you can re-estimate to kind of understand how much work was actually completed within this part of the product backlog item. However, it should be done in advance. It shouldn't be a surprise, right? The team would have seen that they're unable to fully complete this item by the end of the sprint. Well, that split should happen there so that they can actually focus on getting to done faster and sooner to be ready for the sprint review. However, take this estimation, that re-estimation, with a grain of salt, because it might not be really representative of how your team usually estimates work in the sprint planning. Number two, do we present the undone work in the sprint review? Well, the Scrum Guide is pretty obvious and straightforward about that. If a product backlog item does not meet the definition of done, then it cannot be part of an increment and also cannot be presented during the sprint review. Even if you add disclaimers to your work in progress and say, well, this is just a mock-up, this only works on my machine, and it is not yet fully integrated into the product, it only will create confusion and reduce transparency. So just don't show the work that is not fully done, working, or usable. Better to be honest upfront and ask for help rather than to give your stakeholders a bad surprise when it's already too late to fix it. Number three, if we don't have anything to present, do we cancel the sprint review? Well, sprint review is an essential part of the Scrum framework. It is an essential part of sprint. So, as any other sprint event, you shouldn't and can't really cancel it if you want to get the full benefits of Scrum. So sprint review stays. So what are you actually going to talk about during the sprint review if you don't have anything to present? Well, you can still talk about what prevented you from getting to done. Maybe there are some external challenges or organizational processes that did not allow you to make this item to the done state, right? Maybe you had some interruptions. Well, it is a perfect time to talk to your stakeholders about what happened and how they can help you. You can also talk about your progress overall towards product goals and see if you need to make adjustments in your product backlog based on the situation at hand. A lot of things that can be discussed in a sprint review, even if you don't have anything to present. This summarizes the key points that I wanted to make in this video. First, velocity is not as important as it seems when you do not have a done increment. If something isn't fully done, does not actually meet the definition of done, then it's not part of the increment and you can't present it in a sprint review. Even if you don't have anything to present, you still should have the sprint review to collaborate with your stakeholders on the next steps. I hope you learned something new today, and if you did, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you're looking for more support on your Scrum Master journey, then I invite you to check out Mastering Scrum Pro. This is a community of practice that I curate, helping Scrum Masters find real solutions to real life challenges. I hope to see you next time. Cheers and Scrum on!